So we're on chapter 8, I think we're closer to the end. Chapter 8, and our topic is grinding. And we're on a summary of the laws. Okay, so summary of the laws, and we're going, and practical application, so we're going to review whatever we said before. I think it took us like 3 classes to finish it. Very big topic. Okay, so part number 4, summary of the laws. Melachos of grinding. Grinding is halachically defined as a breaking down large objects into very small pieces, whether by grinding, shredding, grating, chopping, crumbling, cutting, or dicing. Okay, so one more time. So the basic idea, again, it's like for us to remember, from you reduce something from big pieces into the small pieces. Okay. So one more time, grinding is halachically defined breaking down large object into very small pieces. So very small pieces. A classic example is a flour, right? So you have a grain and you grind it and you get the flour. But all others, of course, they have much bigger pieces. When you whether by grinding, so you get a grinder, right? A shredding, of course, it's not flour, much bigger pieces than flour, but still it's like talada, right? Like a branch out, right? Shredding, grating, so grating for sure. Also bigger pieces. Chopping, so chopping is, I guess, with a knife. Okay, of course, people can chop very finely, but even a little bigger pieces also chopping. Crumbling, so crumbling, we said cookies or something, a piece of bread, right? Even cookies in a piece of nachala, it would be exception, because we said there is no grinding after grinding, since it was grinded once in order to make a flour and then baked. So when you grind second time, there is no problem, right? Crumbling, cutting, and dicing. Okay. Continue. The prohibition applies only to the products of the earth, such as fruits and vegetables, right? So remember, only grinded apply only to something that grows from the ground. Okay, fruits and vegetables. Inedible products of the earth, such as clay, are also subject of this prohibition. So, inedible products, but since it is not product of the earth, it is earth itself. Clay, like we gave example, a piece of mud that got stuck to somebody's pants or a boots, right? And that let's say it's dried up, right? So if you have this piece of mud, right? So you're not allowed to crumble it, right? When you remove it, right? Why? Like when you remove it, when it's dried up, when you try to remove it, it's going to turn it into the sand or something, right? So which is would be 100% grinding. Not allowed. When it's wet, there is no problem, because you can take off the whole chunk. There is no problem. Okay. Continue. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and cheese are not subject of this prohibition of grinding, meaning that you can chop in very small pieces if need to, or grind, or grate usually, right? Cheese. Okay. Second section, grinding on Yom Tov. Okay, so we did the definition. Now we're doing the grinding on Yom Tov. Non-foods may not be ground. Non-foods may not be ground at all on Yom Tov. I don't remember what example this. I mean, non-foods. Okay, this piece of mud that got stuck to the boots. Okay, continue. With respect to the foods, the following rules apply. Right? A. Foods that are normally ground on a large scale, such as flour, may not be ground at all on Yom Tov. So, yeah. Okay, so personally, I would not have another example. I would not know another example beside the flour. I mean, okay. So basically, we're not allowed to grind on the flour. But today, as we said, it's also not such a easy question, because many people like, especially in nowadays, people try to go healthy and healthy food, and they buy the like small meals when they can. Most of them electric. That's the problem, I guess. But I guess you can do the same with a hand mill as well, right? So usually those on a small scale. So maybe for one baking or something, right? Maybe for you want to bake on 1 hour. Okay. Right, and somehow they say that this flour you must keep in the refrigerator. It's very interesting also that you ground yourself. I think they add something for a preservative, but I'm not sure what is it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so ground on a large scale. Since it's usually done on a large scale, we're not allowed to do it even on a small scale. Okay. B. 3 groups of foods may be ground in a usual manner on Yom Tov. Okay, usual manner meaning with all of these instruments, right? On Shabbos, all of these special tools, almost in all of the situation, they would be muktzah, forbidden to do, and since there is no practical application, so it would be forbidden. Okay, so 3 cases. Number 1, foods that do not grow from the earth. However, when using grater on this type of food, a shinui must be employed unless their flavor would be deteriorate if they are ground in advance. Okay, so so we said before that whatever could be done before the Yom Tov, all of the preparation, since all of this grinding, of course, it's time consuming. So we said if the flavor is not going to depart, it's irrelevant when you're going to do. I guess what would be example? When you grind before, I don't know what is the example. Maybe cheese. Like if they decided to do cheese, like if you did or you did egg salad. So if it would stand 1 day, like stay 1 day, like it would not be fresh. I don't think so. Would be fresh, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think in store it can stay like 10 days in. So if in your refrigerator you keep it for 1 day, what is the problem? Okay. So one more time, foods that do not grow from the ground, from the earth, right? So chicken and fish and others. However, using the grater on this type of food is a shinui must be employed. So a shinui, we said, what is a shinui? Like deviation, like upside down or something. Okay. Must be employed unless the flavor would be deteriorate if ground in advance. Meaning that you had the chance to do it before Yom Tov, but you neglect it, and now it's like some kind of punishment. I mean, it's very inconvenient to do it upside down grater. Okay. Actually, they say upside down on do it on a countertop directly, because usually you do it in a plate. So like some very inconvenience way. Number 2, foods that were previously ground and then reconstituted. Right. So I guess our cookies or matzah. Right. So you have matzah and you want to grind to make a matzah meal. Okay. Number 3, foods that deteriorate if ground in advance. Right. So I think we give. I think one of the example would be a horseradish. Right. So if they want the sharp. So I mean, if you do it in advance, it's going to lose its sharpness for sure. Okay. Section C. Any food that grows from the earth and will not decay or lose any of its flavor by being ground before Yom Tov, for example, nuts, should be ground before Yom Tov. Right. So that's a very good example. Right. I forgot completely about nuts. You grind it before For Yom Tov, what is going to happen? One who did not do so may grind the foods on Yom Tov by the means of shinui. Okay, so meaning it's for the needs of Yom Tov, but it's going to be some kind of like punishment. There is one, invert the grinding implements exactly, or grind into the table rather than a plate. So then get it for all these things from the table. Of course, it's a lot of work. Okay, continue. So one actually, bottom line. So whatever is done on a large scale, forbidden. Whatever that right, forbidden. Then we say there are three types of groups, three groups that are usually done on a Yom Tov. So first we said foods that not grown from the ground, chicken and fish and others, right? You can do it, but preferably before the Yom Tov. If on Yom Tov you do with a shinui, right? But if it could spoil the taste, of course, without shinui, you would be allowed. So second type is whatever was ground before, then reconstituted, so you can grind. There is no problem. And the third type, if it would spoil, if it not spoil, sorry, deteriorate, if you do it in advance, so also no problem. So now section C, we say that if it would not like affect this food anyhow, if you do it before the Yom Tov, and the example is not. So if you did not do it for whatever reason, so we allow you, because not usually done on a large scale for sure. So again, but the shinui again, like you invert the grater, like invert meaning upside down, I guess, or even if you put it on a side. I'm not sure. I never tried it. How is it convenient or inconvenient? But like for sure it is shinui, because upside down, just keep it on a handle and do like from bottom up motion. Maybe it's I don't know. It's sharp, so a person can cut himself. Also dangerous. Or just do, I guess, maybe the safest would be on do it on a table, or that depends on what exactly you grind, and maybe even on a napkin or something. But for sure not on plate as usual. In section D, a food that loses some but not all of its flavor is ground ahead of time. May be ground on Yom Tov. However, shinui must be employed. But whatever it is, so it's not completely going to lose its flavor, but use some of the flavor. I guess most of the foods, besides the nuts, some the dry foods are going to be in this category. So they say you can do it, but with a shinui. Okay, next one. Specialized grinding implements. When grinding is permitted on Yom Tov, specialized implements such a grater, masher. So with a masher, you also you grind in double quotes, right? And in some sense, so it was big, like large piece, and you you crush it, right? So you can use all of this on Yom Tov. In some cases, shinui is required, as explained above. Okay. Tools used on a large scale grinding, such as a mill, may never be used on Yom Tov, even grind in small quantities. Okay. I'm not sure what you can grind in the mill like for Yom Tov needs. I'm not sure. Okay, so I think in my mind, like it's this mill, like it's not usable on Yom Tov. There's no practical application for this, even if it would be allowed.